Назад! Отлично сыграно, командир. Bereiche erobern. Smoke generator started. Attention, reporting the target position. Smoke screen set. All stations requesting fire on the designated target. Перенеси позицию.
Enemy battleship foundered. Off to a great start.
Torpedoes to starboard. designated target. Enemy aircraft carrier sighted. Smoke generator started. Anti-aircraft gun crews are on full alert. All stations requesting fire on the designated target. All stations reporting the position of a strategic target. On the target. Smoke screen set. Anti-aircraft gun crews are on normal alert.
We've destroyed an enemy cruiser.
Allied aircraft need fire support. All forces, capture that area. The ship is on fire. Problem solved, sir. All forces, capture that area. Brilliant. Anti-aircraft gun crews are on full alert. Thank you. Enemy aircraft carrier detected. Anti-aircraft gun crews are on normal alert. Provide anti-aircraft fire support. Torpedoes, direct front.
Victory is in sight. Our team has taken the lead.